The stories on this channel are fictional. The characters Hande and Kerem were generated using artificial intelligence. Content created for entertainment purposes only. Kerem watched the young girl step out of the car, dressed in red, with 2 childish braids falling down her back. "Is she my wife?" he asked quietly. His mother nodded proudly. "Yes, Hande, Mr. Ashfaq's daughter. We will take care of her like a treasure." But Kerem couldn't ignore the knot in his stomach. She was beautiful, yes, but something in her gaze, as if she didn't know where she was. That night when he entered the wedding room, he found her rummaging through the drawers. "What are you doing?" he asked. "Looking for my teddy bear. Mommy said it would be here." Kerem was speechless. Was this a joke? A cruel game? "Tonight is our wedding night," he whispered. She looked at him, confused. "What does that mean?" Kerem turned around, took a deep breath, and knew that tonight he would sleep alone. The next morning, Hande came downstairs with her teddy bear in her arms. She sat down to eat breakfast like everything was normal. "Last night I dreamed my bear could talk," she said, smiling. Kerem barely looked at her. His father entered at that moment. "Everything all right with the girl?" he asked. Kerem clenched his jaw. "She's not a girl, she's my wife, supposedly." But inside, everything was confusion. How do you live with someone so innocent? How do you build a relationship with someone who doesn't understand what being married means? When Hande saw a crying child outside, she ran to comfort him. "Do you want my teddy?" she offered gently. Kerem watched from the window, and for the first time, he didn't know whether to walk away or get closer. Kerem arrived late that night. He found her asleep on the couch, hugging her teddy bear with the TV still on. The news was showing images of war, but she slept peacefully. He approached quietly, covered her with a blanket, and sighed. "What am I supposed to do with you, Hande?" he whispered. She opened her eyes for a second and smiled. "Thank you. Can I sleep here with you?" Kerem hesitated. "This couch is small." "I don't mind. I feel safe here," she whispered. He didn't respond. He simply sat next to her. That night there were no caresses, no kisses, just 2 unfamiliar souls trying to understand the silence. That hurt so much. An unexpected visitor shattered the calm. Liba, his brother's wife, arrived with her baby. Hande rushed toward the child as if he were a treasure. "He's so cute. Can I hold him for a while?" Liba pulled the baby away coldly. "Don't play with my child. He's not a stuffed toy." Kerem watched in silence. Hande walked away crying. That night she barely spoke. She only said, "I want a baby. That way, you'll love me, right?" Kerem felt a sharp pain in his chest. That girl, that wife, that mystery was asking for love, but he still didn't know how to give it. Days later, Hande got sick. Fever, exhaustion, sad eyes. Kerem didn't know what to do. He took her to the hospital, stayed all night by her side. When she woke up, he was asleep in a chair. She looked at him with tenderness. "Are you going to stay?" Kerem woke and nodded. "Until you're better." She held his hand. "Promise me something. Don't leave me alone." "I won't," he whispered. "Not even when I act like a child." Not even then. And so, without realizing it, they made their first pact, one that wasn't written, but one that had already started to hurt. Kerem was flipping through papers when Hande entered the room. She wore a pink dress and carried her teddy bear. "Can I go outside and play?" she asked. "With whom?" he replied, not lifting his eyes. "With the kids on the street." Kerem stared at her in disbelief. "You're a married woman." "But I'm only 16, she whispered, looking down. Kerem stood up suddenly. "You said 16. She nodded. "Dad told me to lie, to say I was 18, but I'm not good at lying." Kerem felt the ground shift beneath his feet. What kind of marriage was this? He locked himself in his office, and for the first time, he thought about leaving. That night, Hande didn't eat. She stayed in her room, holding her teddy bear, staring at the rain. Kerem knocked. "Are you still acting like a child?" She didn't answer. Instead, she said, "You hate me, don't you?" Kerem entered. "I don't hate you, but I don't know how to treat you. I don't know if you're my wife or just a burden." That hurt. Hande ran to the bathroom, slammed the door, and cried. "I want to go back to Mom," she whispered. Outside, Kerem leaned on the door. "I wish I could go back too. To the day I didn't sign that contract." The next day, they received an invitation to a family event. Kerem thought about not going, but his mother insisted. "You have to show up with your wife. Let them see everything's fine." Hande showed up in an elegant dress and with her teddy bear. "Can I take him with me?" Kerem took a deep breath. "No, today you'll be my wife. Act like it." During the party, everyone praised her beauty, but a cousin let the venom slip. "Isn't she a bit childish for you, Kerem?" Hande overheard. She hid in the garden. Kerem found her crying. "Why can't I be like the others?" she asked. He didn't know what to say. He just hugged her, and for the first time, she didn't pull away. That night, Hande had a nightmare. She screamed, cried. Kerem ran into the room. "Hande!" She was shaken. "A monster. It took my teddy bear." Kerem sat on the bed and held her. "There are no monsters here." "Yes, there are," she whispered. "In your eyes." Kerem swallowed hard. She wasn't dumb or naive, just broken. And maybe so was he. That night they slept in the same bed, no touching, but closer than ever. One afternoon, while watching a movie, Hande said, "Do you know what I want?" "What?" "A baby." Kerem choked on his tea. "Sorry, what?" "I want a child, someone who will call me Mom." He looked at her closely. "Do you know what that means?" She nodded. "You taught me not to be afraid, so now I want to learn how to love." Kerem didn't answer, but that night, while she slept on his shoulder, his heart beat differently. Kerem came home with a box. "It's for you," he said, placing it on the table. Hande opened it carefully. It was a notebook, a blank journal. "For you to write down everything you can't tell me." She looked at him, surprised. "You care about how I feel?" Kerem lowered his eyes. "I care, more than I admit." That night, she wrote just one line. "Today, I felt seen." And for the first time, she wanted to stay. A storm hit hard. The lights went out. Hande screamed from her room. Kerem rushed up with a flashlight. "You okay?" "I'm scared of the dark," she admitted. "Do you want me to stay?" She didn't answer, just reached out her hand. Kerem sat beside her. "Do you still want a child?" "I want to feel like I belong to something, to someone." Silence covered them like a blanket. Their hands touched. It wasn't a kiss, but it was more intimate than one. A woman arrived at the house, elegant, confident. "I'm Melis," she said, "Kerem's ex." Hande looked down. "And what are you doing here?" "I came for what's mine, and you, little girl, are just another toy." Kerem found them arguing. "Enough!" he shouted. "She deserves to know," Melis said. "You weren't her choice. You were her punishment." Hande didn't cry. She simply said, "Then leave me alone, both of you." She locked herself in her room, and for the first time, she wrote nothing in her diary. Kerem waited outside her room all night. "And please talk to me." She came out at dawn. "Did it hurt you when she called me a toy?" Kerem nodded. "Not because she said it, but because I believed it." "And now?" "Now it hurts not knowing how to heal you." She stepped closer. "I don't need you to heal me. Just don't break me more." And for the first time, Kerem felt fear. Fear of losing someone who, without trying, had reached deep into his soul. They decided to go out, just the two of them, a small cafe far from everyone. Hande ordered hot chocolate, Kerem coffee. "Do you think one day will be normal?" she asked. "What is normal?" he replied. She shrugged. "To walk without being seen as a child, to kiss you without fear." Kerem took her hand. "If you learn to be strong, I promise I'll learn to be gentle." She smiled, and that smile was their first us. Small, imperfect, but real. The envelope lay on the dining table. Hande opened it with trembling hands. A check. 15 million. "What is this?" she asked. "The price of your silence," Kerem replied coldly. She stared at him, wide-eyed. "You want me to be quiet or to leave?" Kerem didn't answer right away. "I want to protect you, but I don't know if you're staying for me or for security." Hande crushed the check in her fist. "I have no price, Kerem, and you should know that." She left the room with her head held high, but in the bathroom, she broke down in tears. That night, Hande's pillow was wet, not from the rain, but from tears. Kerem entered without knocking. "I'm not here to argue," he said. She didn't look at him. "Then be quiet. You're good at that." He sat on the bed, close but not touching. "I want to understand you, but I don't know how." "It's not that hard," she said. "Just listen to what I'm not saying." Kerem lowered his head. That night they didn't sleep together, but they weren't apart either. Just suspended. The red light blinked behind the painting. Hande found it by accident. "A camera," she whispered, stunned. Everything was being recorded. Every word, every gesture, every lie. Kerem knew, but hadn't told her. Why? That night, Hande hugged her teddy tighter than ever. "He's waiting for the right moment," she thought, "to destroy me." And for the first time, she didn't trust him. Melis came back with a fake smile, a tight dress, and a child. "He says he's mine," she told Kerem, "and what do you want me to do?" "Compare that child and the one sleeping in your house." Hande overheard everything from the stairs. She said nothing, but that night she couldn't look at Aram the same way. Kerem entered her room. "He's not my son," he said. "I confirmed it years ago." Hande believed him, but the wound was already there, because when the past returns, it rearranges everything. A stormless night, a bed shared by habit. Hande whispered, "If tomorrow you lost all your money, would you still want to be with me?" Kerem took his time. "Yes." "And if I weren't your wife?" Then I'd steal you. She smiled. Then stay, not as my husband. As what? As the one who cares for me when I don't understand myself. He caressed her hair. And you care for me when I don't deserve it. And without saying, I love you, they said it all. Kaya showed up at the mansion uninvited. Brother, he said, shaking Kerem's hand, I came to meet your wife. Hande froze. There was something poisonous about him. She's very young, Kaya added. And you've always been impulsive. Kerem said nothing. He simply asked Hande to go upstairs. But that night she couldn't sleep. Who is that man? She asked. My half-brother, Kerem replied, and the person who's most wanted to destroy me. Then why is he here? Because he smells love and wants to break it. Kaya started spending more time at the house, charming, smiling, too close to Hande. One day he found her alone in the garden. You know you deserve better, he said. The best I have is my place here, she replied. Kaya smiled. And what if that place disappeared tomorrow? Kerem watched them from the window, and for the first time in a long while, he felt jealous. That night they argued. Do you trust me? Hande asked. No, I trust the way I look at you, and I know you're not anyone's, but losing you would hurt. Kerem received a call, a legal letter. Kaya was claiming custody of Arham, the child of Melis and Kerem. What right does he have? Hande shouted. None, but with money and lies he can get anything. Then we'll fight. Kerem looked at her. Are you sure you want to stay by my side? It might get worse. And are you sure you want me with all my fears? Silence. Then a yes that wasn't spoken, but was felt in the air. The trial began behind closed doors. Hande entered holding Kerem's hand. Kaya sat across from them, polished and fake. Witnesses, statements, accusations. She's not a mother, Kaya said. She's a girl playing house. Hande looked him in the eye. I didn't give birth to him, but I tucked him in. I didn't feed him in my womb, but I calmed him in my arms. The judge was silent. Kerem looked down, and for the first time, love defended itself with words. The decision came a week later. The custody remains. The child will live with his father and his legal wife, Hande. Kaya left the courtroom without looking back, defeated. Kerem took Hande's hand. We didn't win for being perfect. We won for being real, she replied. That night, there was no celebration. They simply lay together and slept as if, finally, they could close their eyes without fear. The judge's ruling marked more than just a legal victory. It was an inner shift. For the first time, Hande woke up without fear, and Kerem without guilt. What's next? She asked while pouring coffee. Now I teach you how to drive, he replied. She looked at him, half in shock, half excited. Really? A modern wife needs independence. They spent the afternoon laughing, awkwardly trying to move the car without crashing. Every correction from him came with a soft smile. Every mistake from her with a, you're doing fine. By sunset, they parked near the lake. Silence embraced them. Do you realize? She asked. Realize what? We're not strangers anymore. Kerem looked at her. No, now we're two people who choose to stay. And that choice was starting to feel like love. Calm was broken by a call. Kaya again, Hande asked, seeing the tension on Kerem's face. He nodded. He says he's not done. She crossed her arms. Tell him I'm not afraid anymore. I don't want you involved. I married you. I'm already involved, whether I like it or not. That night, Kerem checked cameras, locks, alarms, but the real threat wasn't outside. It was inside. The fear of losing what had just begun. When he went to find her in the room, she was asleep, hugging a notebook, her diary. He didn't wake her. He just picked it up and read in silence. He looks at me differently now. I'm no longer his burden. I think I'm starting to weigh beautifully on him. Kerem smiled, and for the first time, he fell asleep holding someone. Without guilt. Kerem walked into the kitchen holding a box. Is that... She started nervously. No, not a ring, not yet. Hande exhaled. It's a contract, but a different kind, he said, opening the box. Inside, there was a blank page. What is this? Our new agreement, no conditions, no dates, just you and me writing from scratch. She blinked. And what if I don't know what to write? Then we write it together, with mistakes, with fear, with love, however you want. She picked up the pen. My clause is clear, she said. If I fall in love, don't ask me to hide it. Kerem stepped closer. My only condition is, don't leave when you find out how broken I am. And between their hands, they signed the most real contract of all. One without signatures, only heart. Morning brought a headline. Kaya had met with Melis. They're teaming up, Hande asked, furious. They seem to want the same thing, Kerem replied, to tear us apart. Hande paced back and forth. Melis never cared about Aram. Now she just wants to hurt me out of jealousy. Kerem stopped her. She won't take anything, because you're not fighting alone anymore. And neither are you, she replied, her voice firm. That night, they laid out everything, evidence, documents, witnesses, a folder on the table, and a truth in their eyes. This wasn't just a legal battle, it was emotional, and they were ready to defend what was theirs, like a family. Rain poured. Kerem entered, soaked, shirt clinging to his chest, eyes heavy. Did something happen? She asked. No, I just couldn't stay away. Why? She whispered, trembling. Because I love you, Hande, and I don't know since when. I just know it scares me. She walked toward him, slowly. Then stopped being afraid. And she kissed him. No permission, no contract, no obligation. It was slow, but filled with everything they had never said. He hugged her. She didn't let go of the teddy bear, but this time she also held him, and the past finally lost its power. Hande locked herself in the bathroom and fell to her knees. What have I done? She whispered. The echo of her voice shook her. She was trapped, no money, no exit. She thought of her brother, pale in his hospital bed. She thought of the check, the cameras, the contract. Kerem wasn't just her husband. He was a wall, a cold wall, and sometimes a gentle one. Do I deserve this punishment for lying? She wondered, but there was no space for regret. She had 24 hours, and the clock had already started ticking. Outside the door, Kerem waited, not knocking. He was scared too, but not of her, of realizing that maybe he couldn't live without her sweetest lie. Melis didn't leave that night. She claimed the right to see her son, but Arham didn't recognize her. He cried in her arms, clung to Hande like he sensed something. Kerem entered the room. The baby sobbed. Hande held him close with disarming tenderness. Melis yelled, "What did you do to him?" "Nothing. I just gave him love," Hande replied. Kerem said nothing. He simply stroked the child's hair and spoke softly. Go rest, he told Hande. But she didn't move, and neither did the child. He's already chosen, she whispered, and for the first time, Kerem had no argument, only respect. The next day, in the garden, Hande was watering flowers. Melis approached like a silent storm. What are you looking for? She asked, dripping venom. Nothing, just keeping my promises. Does that include stealing my son? The watering can fell. You abandoned him. I just stayed when he cried. Melis laughed bitterly. You're just a shadow of what I once was. No, I'm what you never managed to be, Hande said, unafraid. Melis raised her hand and slapped her. But it wasn't Hande who responded. From the terrace, Kerem had seen it all. Out of my house, he said, cold, final. You have no right to come back, not to my son, not to her. And for the first time, Hande didn't feel like she had to defend herself. Someone did it for her. Kerem received a package with no sender. Inside, photos of Hande, of her brother in the hospital, of Kaya meeting Melis in secret. This isn't over, he said. Hande trembled. What do they want now? To destroy the only thing they can't touch, our home. They decided to keep the evidence and wait, because they knew the next hit would come, and when it did, they had to be standing. That night, Kerem held her hand in silence, and she didn't let go, not even when she fell asleep, not even when he turned off the lights. A call changed everything. Kaya demanded a meeting, alone. Kerem agreed. They met in an empty restaurant. What do you want? Kerem asked. I want what you never had the guts to give me, your place. That place no longer exists for you. Then get ready to lose everything. Kerem returned home, handed Hande an envelope. What's this? The cancellation of the contract. You're no longer bound to me. You can leave whenever you want. She looked at him, really looked. And what if I want to stay? Kerem didn't know what to say. He just hugged her. And finally, he knew. They were no longer a contract. They were a choice. The company was on the verge of chaos. Kaya had vanished, but not without leaving a bomb behind. An anonymous email was leaked to the press. Details of Kerem and Hande's marriage, hints that it was all a legal stunt to keep custody of Aram. The media exploded. Phones wouldn't stop ringing. Cameras swarmed the mansion. This will destroy us, Kerem said, exhausted. Then let's fight it together, Hande replied. Even if everything started as a lie? She looked him in the eye. It's not a lie anymore, Kerem, and you know it. He took her face in his hands. His lips trembled, and he kissed her. Not out of desire, out of urgency, out of fear. Fear of losing the only thing that finally felt like home. The case escalated. It wasn't just a family matter anymore. It was a national scandal. Kaya came back with lawyers and statements. Melis gave interviews. She painted Hande as a fraud, Kerem as a manipulator. The press showed no mercy. And in the middle of it all, Hande. She barely left the house, barely slept, but she didn't cry. She had changed. Are you okay? Kerem asked. No, but I'm ready. Ready for what? To fight for what I was denied as a girl. Respect. The next day she walked into the courthouse in a suit, without her teddy bear, with her head high, and truth clenched between her teeth. In the middle of the trial, someone unexpected appeared. Kerem's father, the man who had left years ago. "I didn't come to save you," he told his son. "I came to tell you not to repeat my mistakes." Kerem stood silent. "And what mistakes are those?" "Losing what loves you, out of pride." He left without another word. Hande noticed Kerem's expression. "Are you okay?" "I don't know. I just saw a ghost who left me alive." She hugged him, and for the first time, Kerem realized he didn't need to save her. He just needed to protect her because she already knew how to survive. Kaya returned with a new card to play. "Dad left me a letter. It says I can fight for Arham." "What? He's not even your child," Kerem shouted. "But I can be better than you," Kaya replied smugly. Hande couldn't stay silent. "You might have a document, but you'll never have his love, his laughter, his hug." "Then get ready. The judge will decide." That night, the mansion was quiet. Kerem wandered to Aram's room, watched him sleep. Hande joined him. "If the judge takes him away, what will you do?" "I'll go with him." "What?" "I can't lose my son, or you." She kissed him, and knew then, without doubt, that she loved him truly, unconditionally, and that she would fight with everything she had. The final trial was private. No cameras, no media, just truths. Hande spoke first. "I'm not his biological mother, but I am his refuge, his routine, his bedtime hug." Kerem followed. "I didn't choose her out of love, but today, I can't live without her, or my son." "And you, Mr. Kaya?" the judge asked. "I have rights, that's all." Silence. Outside the courtroom, Hande clutched Kerem's hand. He said nothing, just held her tighter, and in that quiet hallway before the verdict, Hande knew, no matter what happened, that man was no longer her obligation. He was her choice. The judge entered. The room fell silent. Hande felt her heart in her throat. Kerem stayed still, holding her hand tightly. Kaya sat smugly, sure he had already won. After reviewing the arguments, the judge began, and considering the best interest of the child, a pause. Hande couldn't breathe. "I declare that custody of Arham remains with his biological father, Kerem Yilmaz, and his legal wife, Hande Yilmaz." A beat of silence. Then, a shared breath of relief. Kaya stood up, defeated. He didn't say a word. He just walked away. Hande cried silently. Kerem hugged her fiercely, not because they had won, but because they had done it together. Kaya wasn't entirely done. "You didn't win out of justice," he said in his final call. "You won out of pity." Kerem didn't respond. That man no longer belonged to his present. He was part of the dust. Meanwhile, Hande visited her brother at the hospital. She held his hand. "You'll get out of here soon, and when you do, you'll meet the family I built." He opened his eyes, weak but aware. "Are you happy?" She smiled through tears. "I'm learning how to be, and that is already a miracle." She returned home, head held high, her heart tired, but more alive than ever. That night, Kerem prepared a special dinner. "What are we celebrating?" Hande asked. "You, for not giving up, for not letting me fall." During dessert, he brought out a small box, but this time it wasn't a contract, it was a ring. Simple, no jewels, just their names engraved. "Now I ask you, without conditions, will you be my wife, for real?" Hande hesitated. For the first time, no one was forcing her. Then she said, voice shaking, "Yes, but promise me something. Anything. If one day this breaks, let's not stop caring for each other." Kerem kissed her forehead. Promise. Days before the real wedding, a note appeared under the door. "Don't think you've won. Mistakes always return." Kerem didn't want to worry her, but Hande noticed. Another threat. I don't know who, but we won't stop out of fear. They went on with the preparations. Guests, flowers, peace. The night before the ceremony, Kerem approached Hande's door. He didn't go in. He just said, from the other side, "If I don't show up tomorrow, go on without me." She smiled calmly. "And if you don't come, I swear I'll come find you." On the other side, he smiled too, because that girl no longer existed. Now he had a woman by his side, and no one could destroy that. There was no church, no crowd of guests, just a garden, Arham with a flower in his pocket, and them, Kerem and Hande, face to face. "I choose you, not because I have to," Kerem said, "but because I wouldn't know how to live without you." Hande took a deep breath. "I choose you. Despite the fear, the past, the pain, I choose you. Even when you don't understand me." They held hands. They said, "Yes." But there was no applause, only a pure, absolute silence. As if the world stopped to listen, and in that moment, what began as an obligation became a love story, a real one, a story where, finally, they chose each other without fear. 5 years later, the garden bloomed again. Aham was 7, and his laughter filled every corner. But that morning, he asked something that froze Hande. "Mom, why aren't there any pictures of you with me as a baby?" She swallowed hard. "Because I came into your life a little late, my love. But since I arrived, I never left." He didn't seem satisfied. Kerem noticed. That night, in their room, he said, "We have to tell him before someone else does." But it was already too late. The next day, Melis knocked on the door holding a gift. Melis wasn't the same. Her face had changed, her voice too. But her intention remained, to take her son back. "I just want to see him," she said sweetly. Hande didn't allow it. "You don't show up after 5 years and demand what you abandoned." Melis didn't argue. She left an envelope on the table. "The judge will decide if I have rights." Kerem opened it. Papers, dates, DNA, a threat, both legal and emotional. "We won't let her in," he said. But inside, he knew this time wouldn't be easy. Hande was at a clinic for a routine checkup when she heard her last name in the waiting room. "Yilmaz?" She turned. A woman. Tall, gray hair, eyes she recognized. Mom. She hadn't seen her in over 15 years. "I didn't come to apologize," the woman said. "I came to tell you I'm not dead." Hande's world spun. "Why now?" "Because someone looked for me, a rich man. He wants to destroy you." Kaya, it always led back to him. Kerem was hiding something. Hande saw it in his tired gaze, in the way he clutched his chest. But he said nothing. One night, she found him passed out in his study. "Kerem," she screamed, "wake up!" They rushed to the hospital. Tests, silence, then the diagnosis. Severe arrhythmia, stress could kill him. Hande didn't cry, but when he woke up, she held him like she'd never let go. "You lied to me," she said. "I didn't want you to see me weak." Then learn this, Kerem. Loving someone isn't showing strength. It's letting them care for you. The custody case began again. Melis brought witnesses. Kaya funded lawyers. Hande had no tricks, only her truth. I'm not his biological mother, but I was there when he was sick, when he cried, when he said "Mom" for the first time. The judge remained silent, then spoke to the child privately. Upon returning, he ruled, Aham will remain with the Yilmaz couple, but he has the right to see his biological mother if he wishes. Aham approached Hande. Can I decide for myself? Always, she replied. And he hugged her, tightly, with purpose. Kerem started taking his medication. Hande handled everything, until one day, he disappeared. He left no warning, just a note. I need to breathe. I don't want you to see me fading. Hande searched for days. She found him at the lake where they first met. What are you doing here? I was wondering if I'm worth more far away than close by. She knelt before him. I don't need you to save me. I need you to stay. Kerem cried. For the first time, so did she. A letter, anonymous. If you don't disappear, I'll reveal everything about your mother, your brother, your lies. Hande recognized the handwriting. Kaya. Kerem wanted to confront him, but Hande went first. Alone. She showed up at Kaya's office. You have no power over me, not anymore. What do you have? A family, a name, a place, things you'll never know how to have. And when she left, she knew she had won, not with strength, with truth. Silence returned to the mansion, but it wasn't fear, it was peace. Arham ran through the halls. Hande chased him, laughing. Kerem watched from the window, feeling whole. Do you regret anything? She asked. Not loving you sooner, signing a contract instead of asking you to stay. She hugged him. But I stayed anyway. Yes, because you had something I didn't. What? Courage to love, even when everything started as a lie. The clinic was filled with flowers. Hande held a pink blanket in her arms. A daughter, their daughter. She has your eyes, Kerem said, and your frown when she sleeps. Hande laughed. Arham approached. What's her name? Lina, Hande answered. It means soft, tender, but strong. Kerem kissed her forehead. Like you. And in that room, there was no past, only future, a new beginning, no lies, no contracts, only love. Years later, Arham found the original contract. He read it, then looked at his mother. Was this real? Hande smiled. It was the beginning of something fake that became the most real thing we ever had. Arham didn't ask anything else. He just hugged her. And in the garden, Kerem was reading aloud to Lina, a story about a couple who married without love and ended up showing the world that love isn't signed, it's chosen every day until the end.